Well, here it is, just after midnight. I don't know if you can see the time there. It says 12:08. I just broke even. It's Tuesday night. I was out here Monday night, that's last night, and I can operate here with my high beams on because we're kind of like, we're not exactly on a city street. We're sort of, well, not really rural either. We're still in town, kind of, but it's sort of like a rural type of setting, sort of just outside of town, I guess, something like that. It's all residential here. And, well, last night was a slow, hard go. I watched all the videos I had, and I started reading some more from the book I got going, The Orphaned Worlds by Michael Cobley. I'm not all that impressed with his writing. It doesn't really grab me so much. I'll get into parts of the book, and then there'll be parts of the book where I'm just glossing over what I'm reading, and I don't really follow what's going on. It's not one of those that I can really warm up to. And the thing is, I bought the whole trilogy without reading the first one first. So, well, I might as well read it, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, so Monday night was a bit disappointing. I was out here the whole time and made $70 for myself. And tonight is looking a lot like the same thing. It took me until midnight to break even, and once again tonight it took me till midnight to break even. So that's it. Nothing all that special. And yeah, I'm getting back to the highway here so that I can head back into my part of town once again, because I'm a creature of habit. I just find that part of town to be the most consistent, and we've got a fair number of customers there. There's my MDT. It's saying position 1 in 83. There's all my other instruments and stuff. And we're just waiting here for that red light to turn green. Should happen soon. I got a coffee going. It's keeping me awake. Okay, you guys, come on. They're supposed to build an overpass here over the highway because it's kind of retarded having traffic lights on a highway. And they should have done that 20 years ago, because that particular spot gets really busy and clogged up during rush hour, because back there behind me, the Western Communities, there's a lot of people who live out there now. So I'll just move over to the right lane and head down here. I'll put the camera down because there's a car coming up behind me, and I don't want him to see, in case he's a policeman, that I have a handheld device, because handheld devices are illegal. And we slow down for, oh, green light. Was another red light on the highway. Anywhere that has traffic lights on a highway is kind of silly. But we're on the island here, and everything has to be done in a special way. Uniquely. Well, there's not much else to say about this Tuesday night, except that I've got my lease on halfway through the shift. and I'll be reading some more from my book and hoping to get some good luck. Yeah. I'll let you know at the end of the shift if there was anything memorable that happened. Maybe I'll get back here tomorrow and talk about it. I don't know. February is a very disgusting month. The time is now 3:44 a.m. and that's pretty interesting because what was going on, I broke even just around midnight, I think it was, and I had a couple of longer fares, and then nothing happened between about 1 and 2:30, and then I had this one guy from a low rent welfare building. It's like all the rent is subsidized there, and so I picked him up, and he was a little bald guy he was wearing a bicycle helmet, and he talked really fast and nervous like, and he wanted to go to a bank at a mall that was quite a distance away, and I thought, oh good. So we got there at about 3:45 or 2:45, and he said, well, we got to wait for my friend. He'll be here just before 3. I said, well, how's he getting here? Oh, he's walking. And I had already shut the meter off. I suppose I could have put it back on, but he was being concerned about not cranking the meter too high. So I waited with this guy for about 10 minutes until his friend showed up. And when his friend showed up, I turned the meter back on. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I was anxious to hear what he had to say. And he was talking about, well, just stuff that concerned him, I guess. Anyway, I sat there like a total clown for about 10 minutes with this guy in my car and the meter not going. And he said, oh, well, my friend's going to pay. So I'm thinking, oh, this is garbage. I could have sat there with the meter going and made another $10. But then I figured maybe I'll do my thing for humanity. And very often when you do a thing for humanity, it comes back at you. One of my earlier customers from earlier in the night who went somewhere for $25 called me and said, can I get a cab to a certain address? And I went there, and then I called him, and I said, I'm right outside, and he came back right outside, and it was the guy who I had taken into town for $25. So now I just took him back out of town for another $25. So instead of making about $50 for myself, I'm up to the point of making $75. And if I can make $25 more, I'll make $100 for myself. But apparently the price of gas went up too. So now that the price of gas went up, who knows what'll happen. But remember, a week ago exactly on Tuesday, I had that really crappy, shitty night, and then I had 2 runs to the airport. Maybe I can snag one this morning. That would be nice. I got basically 2 hours left to go. And I would like history to repeat itself. On top of what I've done so far, that would be wonderful. Well, I'll let you know when it happens. If not, well, I'll be back tomorrow to do another segment. Well, you know, maybe I didn't make 100 for myself, but at least I made about 90. So it could have been worse. This was at least better than last night. And well, you know, for a slow Tuesday, I guess it was all right. I got a fair amount of reading done. I think I read about 70 or 80 pages, and it's raining out now. And yeah, got to go to the chiropractor and do some exercises in the gym there to keep my back healthy, to keep me from turning into a big pile of mush. Yeah. Well, this little Wednesday night is going pretty good. I just dropped one of my regular customers off, and he was good for $25. He basically goes across town, and I'm trying to hold this thing steady, but this is a somewhat bumpy road, and the Toyota Prius is not known for having a smooth and soft ride. So yeah, this road has all kinds of bumps and imperfections all over it, and this car's suspension, you know, after 9 or 10 hours it feels like you're riding a jackhammer. Actually, you know, people say, oh, you must like this car, it's really nice. Well, actually, I'm not the biggest. The only good things I can say about this car is it doesn't break down often, and it's economical to run. But it has these great big A-pillars, so if you've got somebody walking towards you or walking through a crosswalk, and it's you know, you can't see them coming at you. The visibility out the back sucks too. This car has terrible visibility in all directions. And then they put a camera for backing up. But the camera is mounted 18 inches off the center line of the car. So the first week I was driving it, I was backing up, and I took out the side view mirror on that side there because I thought that I was farther away from that side based on where the camera was placed, if that makes any kind of sense. So yeah, so the camera's not in the center. The instruments are not in the center. They should be in front of the driver, right where the MDT is. The MDT should be off to the side, and the instrument. Anyway, what else? It's got too many beepers and warnings, and it takes. You have to hit 3 buttons to turn the radio off. And what else don't I like about this car? Oh yeah, on top of the suspension being a little too harsh, it's the car could sit a few inches higher so that you wouldn't bottom out when you're hitting going over a sidewalk into a driveway, and you've got 4 fat people in here. Yeah. What else was there that I don't like about these cars? Well, they're ugly too. How's that? Yeah, I'm not a big Toyota fan to begin with. Never really have been. Oh, let's run the yellow. So now you're seeing some of the road. Yeah. Tonight is going pretty decently. I'll turn the light on and point this thing at me. It's going decently tonight. I'm at about the 150 mark at 12:13 in the morning. But the reason why I'm doing so good is that my second call went out of town, out the peninsula to Sydney, It was a woman who was undergoing dialysis at this clinic, and she lives out in Sydney. And there's this organization that runs these buses. They call them Handy Dart. They're buses for the disabled and crippled and that. And if you're with them, they take you with a bus to go wherever you have to go, but you have to book it in advance. And sometimes, well, maybe there's a driver sick, or the bus is broken, or for whatever reason they can't get a bus to the customer. So that's when they call us, and it's all paid for by the government. So that was good. A $42 fare at the beginning of the night, so it was really easy to get my expenses on, a couple hours early, maybe 3 hours early. And now I've had a couple of good fares on top of that, so I can just coast for the next 6 hours. I like that part. And it gives me a leg up on the rent. So yeah, I'm trying to get my rent together this week so that next week I can go pay to have my teeth cleaned and get some groceries in there, and the usual kind of things that I get. What else? Yeah, if anything really memorable happens, I'll tell you later. "5 a.m. Thursday morning. Here we are. The light has just changed, and it hasn't been really that busy after the midnight. Well, I think I made about $100 on top of lease and fuel, which is okay. It's not quite over yet. We still got an hour to go. And it has been a long night. I have been to sleep. And here we are. I have been to sleep a couple times, and I've been getting calls trickling in between sleeping. And I'm trying to read my book, but every time I try to read, I get sleepy. So yeah, the night's almost over. I'd love to just go home and sleep, but I've got a chiropractor's appointment. So I think I'm going to drive to the chiropractor's instead of walk this morning, so that I'll be able to get home sooner and get to sleep sooner. We'll see how that works out. And that's it for the Wednesday night, pretty much. I'll be back here tomorrow. Now hopefully I have a few minutes. It's just after 7 in the evening on Friday, and I was so tired in the morning after the Thursday night that I didn't even do a vlog or a segment of a vlog because I fell asleep right here in the parking lot after reading some of my book. It's still, once again, The Orphaned Worlds by Michael Cobley. I got about 120 pages to go to finish it, and it shouldn't take too long, maybe a little bit tonight. And I'm on a call already. Oh my goodness. Anyways, okay. Anyways, the Thursday night was good at the beginning. I had a 90. I had a call to a pet store, and this woman had bought a cat tree, and she says, "I'll tip you $10 if you take this thing up to the 3rd floor for me." And I said, yeah, sure. And she says, oh, it's about $20 to take me home anyway, so make it 30. And we put 30 on the Interac, and it was only like $12 to get her there. And so, you know, it ended up being like an $18 tip or something like that. And I had another fare later on that went from the highway and Admirals up to UVic. That was another $22 on the clock, and it ended up being like about 27. And then after midnight, it kind of went quiet, and I would get a few trips dribbling and drabbling in there, but you know, I had like $150 on at midnight, and I just didn't do more than about 200 total. So I've almost got the rent together, and now I got to get this trip because you know, I got to get this trip. So I'll tell you about tonight at the other end. Okay. So now it's what is it? 2:36 in the morning. And I've got about 300 on, so it's not bad at all for a Friday. It's gonna be all right. The night is gonna end. Well, it can coast now, you know. It can just be quiet for a while. Although I will probably get a few more calls trickling in, and they can trickle in between now and 6 in the morning. So we've got 3.5 hours in which to have things trickle in, and that's okay with me. I'm gonna sit in the parking lot and watch more YouTube on this phone that I'm using to shoot this video. I'm trying to hold it steady. Let's go in a different way this time. I usually take the other way besides this one because it has fewer traffic lights between here and where I'm going to. Incidentally, we're gonna go right past where I live. And down at the bottom of this hill, well, right about here to our left, I live in there. Now you know. Now you know where I live. And we're getting closer to the uptown. Oh, I'm third in zone, so I'll have enough time to watch some video, perhaps. Now this is the mess right here. This is a clusterfuck. This is 2 traffic lights in a row. Well, there's this one here that we're sitting at. It's red. And now we gotta wait for it to change. And the stupid part is there's 2 traffic lights in a row. Basically, for each half of the road has its own traffic light. And they're not synchronized properly. So you might get a green here, and the next one will be red. Now the other one just turned green. So now we have to wait for this one to turn green so that we can keep going. But you know, there's a bit of cross. Oh, it's green. Now hopefully when we get there, the other one won't turn red, which it has been known to do on different occasions. Fortunately, this time we'll be able to get through it before it changes. Oh, but it's changing right now. You know, if you're not quick enough on the draw, you get stuck on that other light. And very often the lights are timed in such a way, or the lights end up in such a way that you get one but you don't get the other. That's part of Uptown right to our right there. And now we're coming back down to the area where I like to sit and get calls, because there's really good reliable Wi-Fi there. And you may have noticed the old Mercury Lincoln sign, and nobody drives Mercuries anymore. I haven't seen a new Mercury in 10 years. But whatever. Right here is where we are. This is the spot. This is where I get my Wi-Fi, right in the shadow of the Acura dealership right there. And if nothing memorable happens, I will just coast through the rest of the night and say that I hope yours is better than mine. However, if something memorable does happen, I might make another segment. See you sooner or see you next week. Well, I stayed out a little longer than I usually do because I was adding up the Interac slips, and while doing so, I got sent on a trip. And I had a feeling that trip would be long, and it was like $24, so that was good. And then I thought I'd add up the Interac slips again because I thought I made a mistake. And while I was adding these things up, I got another call, and instead of hitting clear entry, I hit off on the calculator. And so it was a shame because I only had like about 3 more numbers to do, or 3 more bills to add to it, and so I got sent on another call, so I did that one, and it went back to the part of town where I like to work, which is great. So I added up the slips again, and then finally I came out of the car wash. I'm out of the car wash now. Everything is clean. And look at this, we got daylight. I haven't seen this stuff in a while. Look at the world. This is the famous stupidest intersection probably in Canada. And we're next to a bus. It's morning, it's Saturday morning. It is the end of my week. It was the end of my week an hour and a half ago. Yeah, but anyway, this is what it looks like in the daytime. And I'm just heading over to the gas station to fuel up, and there's some water dripping down the windshield and that. And if you look really carefully, maybe there's some Japanese cherry trees blooming already, as it is the 20th of over there. See there? They're blooming. They're blooming. The cherry trees, they're starting to bloom. And it is the 20th of February. Yeah, this is about the right time. Usually it's maybe a week later than this, but there was one year where the cherry trees bloomed at the beginning of February. That was in 2003. That was the same year my folks came to visit, and they came to visit in February when they got a good deal on a hotel room. And yeah, because I was living in a stupid little basement suite. It wasn't big enough for all of us. So this is Douglas. This is kind of the main drag that we're going down here. Just to give you an idea what it's about. And we're just I'm too tired to say really much, except that I had a really successful night. I came in somewhere over 400, which was great. I did fine. I cannot complain. But now we got to fuel up, and we're down half a tank. I don't know if you can see that. It's half a tank. And there's the Shell station at 99.9 cents a liter. And here's where we're gonna fuel it up, and hopefully we'll be able to show you more videos with daylight in them as the months in the upcoming months. So yeah, time to fuel up right here.